Hi, everybody. I'm glad that you have been with us so far today. As you can see, we have quite a great collection of smart folks. And I like the journey, the story of starting with kind of where things are and then building on, the futurist theme, right? So, one of the things that became really, really clear is that if you are going to lean in and if you are going to look for specifics of opportunity, kind of like what we let in with Tony, where you're actually looking for stuff, one of the best things that you're going to need for your journey is data, being informed, having partners, but data. Did I say data enough? So today I'm very excited to introduce to you John Banks, who is my data guy. What can I say? John, want to give a little intro about yourself and then we'll look at some things you guys are doing.
Great. Thank you, Kathryn. Kathryn and I go way back, at least over a year. Seems like dog years, though. Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you for having us. We've had a great representation of Escalent today, more tomorrow. And today we're going to talk about, for day one, a new offering of data, as you said, a joint collaboration between the team there at Work Truck Solutions and the team recently put together over the last year and a half at Escalent to build out a very exciting portal solution that has great depth. And we're going to run through the first four dashboards today, and then we're going to run through some of the other dashboards tomorrow. And so this is a joint collaboration. The data is representative. So for those of you that might want to grab screenshots and so forth, just be aware that this is proof of
Don't
concept.
use this data.
Right. There you go. So yeah, thanks. I know we have about 20 minutes to kind of run through some of the info. So
And I think, John, I'm going to put on my cheaters today because you've got a lot of very detailed stuff that we're going to be looking at, right?
we do, we do. So just to briefly run through, we've got four different dashboards we're going to run through today, and then four more tomorrow. The beauty of what we have put together with Work Truck Solutions has been really the rich convoy data. So in June of last year or so, Kathryn, I think it was, we put
Mhm.
together the partnership agreement. And so Escalent has a very long-term partnership agreement with Work Truck Solutions to provide this rich data. And the convoy day-to-day activities really gives us a great demand view of what's going on. And so these dashboards represent a combination of data sets that we've pulled together via acquisitions that Escalent has put together over the last year or two, combination of knowledge that has just been gleaned over the last multiple decades of primary research and advisory research. And so those four there, Kathryn, I think are the ones we're going to go through today. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And you have um, part of the reason we've known actually Escalent, one of your previous names and iterations for a long time, for a dozen years. And you're as far as I'm concerned, you're the only group that's really looking at the commercial space in a way that is meaningful, that has some actual action. And then the acquisitions that you've done, where you've brought in the supply side and we brought in the demand side on, and the details about the vehicles themselves, right? And the use
Yes.
cases. It's very interesting. So let's go ahead and dive in. And
So as you said, time to put the glasses on, right? So
mm,
this is one of the dashboards that we have put together that we think is a great thought-provoking conversation starter on just what's going on out there. So what am I looking at? So what we've done is we've taken the vocational upfit of strip chassis, of refits that might have already had a useful life and are now looking for another new life, combination of both new vehicles and used vehicles. So what you're seeing here, relative to vehicle condition is some trending info. In the upper right-hand corner, you can see that as of March of 2023, There's selections so you can look at trending over time. We're going back to the last normal year, if you will, right? Pre-COVID 2019, and then looking forward. And so what you'll see is we've got demand data in here on what's going on with inventory turns, the upfits. Again, a lot of rich information. And then also a future view. So as you see in the green boxes, there's a
Right.
view out, a couple of years, and that's the exciting part now is now matching the supply with the demand, and we start to look at allocations, we start to look at the conditions of vehicles in operation, we start to look at the different OEMs, traditional retail light vehicle OEMs as well as heavy duty commercial vehicle OEMs, the chassis types, and so this morning, I think Kathryn Andrew had used some of your data that's a derivative from this portal
Right.
on the vocational upfit and the pie charts and so forth. And then Gregory also has used some of this data in his analyses, who presented earlier. And Donya's been part of all of it with Fleet Advisory Hub and the tangential connectivity between these portals and these other traditional subscription products that we have. So they all really complement. So this top line view, as you can see, I'm not going to run through all the different pieces, but I thought it was interesting to bring to the attention, some of the possibilities, right? So, what's the upfit, as far as leading indicators? Again, this one was filtered on electrification for some reason, up at the top, the fuel type. But again, it's representative of what we're trying to convey here.
Well, and that's part of what makes a portal great is to be able to filter on different things so that depending on the view that is most critical to your strategy and your goals, right? Yeah.
Right, 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 right.
Mm.
So I think we kind of covered this one. Do you think
Mhm.
we should move on to another one?
Yeah.
Let's just take a look at so what's of interest out there, right? So you start to think about interest and trending info. What are people looking for? What information is out there today? And this again is a combination of data sets, right? So at the bottom, I'll draw your attention to just traditional Google keyword trending, right? So what are
Mhm.
people searching for? Now, again, you can argue, well, these aren't, commercial vehicle people, but, just what's out there as far as the population. We do have a very closed community that is of just community managers, but for the sake of this dashboard, we wanted to try to provide some insight into what's going on out there. What are people looking for? So you see Google Trends on the right of the purple numbers, and then on the left, you see WTS. That's Work Truck Solutions, the acronym, obviously. So just some telling info, right? So you look at Class One, and Convoy does sell some of the Class One. We don't forecast Class One today. We do forecast Class 2B through 8. So when you start to see this harmonizing of supply and demand, we really focus on what's traditionally been commercial vehicle. But what you won't find out there is really this vocational upfit data matched with a forecast down to the class of 2B. That's really important because there's, Kathryn, as you know, a lot of movement in the 2 and 3 and even 4, geez, 5 and 6 even, as far as all these new providers, electrification,
And
hydrogen
new
ICE.
opportunity, lots of new opportunity. I think that's, I really loved Gregory's enthusiasm, which led into the great Lauren's panel talking about opportunity, right?
Right.
It's hard. There's a lot of work to do. I wrote down good luck at the end of Lauren's, but this is how you help that. This is how
Right.
you luck more intelligent, right? You say,
Yes.
for our specialty, for our capabilities, for what we are strong in, what are the kinds of things that are trending? What are the kinds of things that are being observed so that it's there's some power around making decisioning?
That's the key. As we've talked, whether it's infrastructure and how do I enable, or if it's, again, the complexity of all these alternative propulsion designs, right? We've grown up with just put a diesel engine in it and you could do anything with it, whether it's class 1 through class 8, and have a nice day. or your traditional gasoline power for some of the lighter duty. But what's very clear today is that there will be multiple solutions depending on the duty cycle, depending on the vocation and how it'll be used, and that brings this whole nother layer of sophistication that we have to manage. So we're excited about bringing this new level of detail to market that really helps with what's out there today, what's being accepted, what's being looked after, and again, we've got a couple more dashboards to go through here as well.
Yeah. So thinking of it as a funnel, right? You
Right.
start with interest and then you go into consideration, right?
There you go. So this is the trending on what is the interest, and then we go right into well, what's being considered out there, right? Now,
Right.
again, apologize for the eye chart for those of you out there with small screens or on your phone. And if you do want some additional info on this, please feel free to reach out to Kathryn or myself or anybody at Work Truck Solutions or anybody at Escalent. Everybody knows how to get the info these days. We've been working on this diligently, and we actually talked a little bit about this in the fall seminar as well with Work Truck Solutions. So what you see on the left are the upfits. What's being considered? You think about the last month, the last 6 months, the last year. You start to think about the types of upfits. You start to think about the types of trucks that are out there, whether or not they were produced by the OEM or upfit. You start to look at body manufacturers that are being considered out there. What are some of the strong bodies that are used out there for construction or delivery services? And then we really start to get down into the minutia of the long tail as well. And so all these are interactive with the portal. You know the rule, Kathryn. You don't want to bring up software in a demo and then have it all go left and right on you. So
Yeah.
it is active, and you can drill down on all of these different features
And
and
that's what
bells.
those across the top and on the right there are is your selections, right? For
Though, well,
number of features.
actually, each one of these graphs, each one of these pie charts are all interactive. So you can actually hover over them, and it'll bring up the data in a table format. You can export it. You can move it around. So
Great.
there's a lot of configuration that you can do, a lot of drilling.
Right. Great.
And then as you said, you can filter across the top as well. So if you only buy a specific class, you only want to deal with a specific type of propulsion, segmentation,
Mhm.
or if you want to go back in time, or as we said, we've got a future forecast in here out into the 2030s as well. So when you want to start to look at what we're predicting for compliance on the regulatory side, all of that is in the model as well that you can look at and manage with. So, what vehicles do they consider for upfits? You start to look at new versus used. In a lot of cases, as we know, these vehicles have a very long life and can be repurposed and used again and again. How are they being used? What is the configuration of the powertrain itself and the specifications relative to weight and length, dimensional info. So again, these are representative of what we think are great thought starters and great ways to represent what we think are starting points, but by no means is this the end of the rich data that's out there.
And honestly, I think it's a great time to be saying to people, here's a buffet, but what else would you like to eat, right?
Right, 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 exactly. And each one of these, when you start to look at the vocational upfit, each one of these really does have this different duty cycle, if you will. You know,
Mhm.
the food and beverage has a lot of weight. You know, there's a lot of poundage with a full beverage vehicle versus, as Andrew had said, when you start to max out on the cube dimensional of a van, and weight is really not an issue. It's you cube out on being able to get all the boxes in there. So
Yep.
having that intimacy and being able to look at what's going to be provided on the supply side, and then what is available on the demand side that I can buy today, and that consideration, we think it's a powerful conversation to have.
Right. We only have, this was a short view.
Yep, we're just clicking through it. So purchase deep dive. Again, what are people buying? The transactions. So we do have inventory info. We have what was purchased, what it looked like. Have we seen it before? You start to look at what is the configuration of the vehicle. You see trending, as in, back in the day, everything was manual. You see a lot of automatic now, so you can start to see, well, when will that occur? You start to think about the phasing out of the V8. Well, it's here to stay, and it's still pretty prominent. And you start to look at, how do I conform within my fleet? How do I conform within what I need to do to keep my business operational? And so again, we think that these are great starting points to start to look at, regardless of what you do, regardless of what you upfit, and regardless of what you manufacture or you supply to the OEMs. We think this has multiple uses for all those different personas.
Definitely insights.
That's right. So then that was really it for day one as far as what we wanted to go through. I know we kind of went quickly through the last couple there. Tomorrow we're going to hit four different dashboards related to sales and inventory, and actual deep dive on the forecast. And we also have geographic info as far as, well, where is this inventory, and who's looking for is the inventory in the right place for who's looking based on their geography and their source of where they're located. So pretty excited about working together with you, Kathryn, as usual. And the teams have done a great job of showing this info. I think with that, I don't think we had any questions. Let me just look real quick.
No, we
No
have a very
questions?
shy we have a shy audience. I think they're also doing a lot of multitasking. They also know that they have access to these videos afterwards.
That's right. That's right.
So
So this
maybe
will
they'll
be
be
a good
able
one.
to make the screen bigger and look at it. But reminder, um, for safety's sake, these are not, what's that phrase?
These
Um,
are for demo purposes only. Yeah.
That's right. But just what you're right. It's so exciting to see the hint of planning to do this from last year come to fruition. I'm really looking forward to, I imagine, the first few companies that step forward and start using this kind of opportunity, this kind of information. It'll give them a real advantage, honestly, John.
Yes, and I'm looking forward in the fall. You've already announced the dates. We will probably do a live interactive demo of it by then. And like I said, it's in a controlled release right now. We use it every day relative to answering questions that are asked of us, being a primary research company. So we're leveraging it today, and we're
Well,
very
but to
excited.
be clear, somebody can come to you and say, I need this, and you can get it for them.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, that's our number one forte, primary research. And whether we use our own tools or we build it for you on your behalf, it's one or the other, or something in between.
And soon to be available by subscription.
Yes, available by subscription, and
Oh,
very much portable and available globally.
great. Thanks, John.
Great.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Very good. Bye for now.